Looks good. Can't wait to sink my teeth into that.
Yo, microphone check, make it a microphone check. Give it a microphone, I make it a microphone dead. Don't step to me, newbie, I can truly...
Oh, hi. Michael here, aka Yogi with Yogi's Garage. Welcome. We're back with Project Olaf. As you can see here, I've got a wicked brew going on, man. We're done ripping the engine apart. We have all the parts out. We need to get them clean now. So the best way to do it is a technique called hot tanking. Hot tanking uses a degreaser, lots of heat, boiling water, and it just melts the oil off of the engine parts. It's going to take some time, a little bit of effort, and a lot of cleaning, but I plan on getting these parts factory new. But first, I want to talk a little bit about where I've been. I know it's been several weeks since I dropped my last video, but my wife and I came down with COVID. A few weeks ago, I went to Arizona, and in the process, I came back and I brought back more than just memories. I brought back the coronavirus. So it's no joke, folks. It pretty much incapacitated me for about 2 weeks. Lack of energy, lack of concentration, all of the typical symptoms that you've heard about are all true. So take care of yourself out there. If you do get it, practice safe social distancing, quarantine yourself, take care of yourself, drink lots of fluid. But with that said, let's move on to something else. So hot tanking in this episode is going to be all about cleaning the engine block, cleaning the cylinder head, valves, anything where oil touches it, like an oil pump, the oil pan, things like that. All that needs to be clean. And with the proper chemicals, it's a piece of cake, really. You just gotta, stick it in a trash can and heat it up. So I'm gonna show you what it's all about, and then I'll see you on the other side and we'll talk about the results. Hey, so it's the day before I'm gonna start the hot tanking, and I wanted to show you some of the things that I have for this project. I think I already discussed the Simple Green Extreme Aircraft and Precision Cleaner, but I got something else based on some advice that I got from some of the users who've used this method before, that despite this thing being aircraft safe and it's safe for aluminum, it still has a tendency to dull aluminum. So I got this and was recommended to use this after I finish hot tanking it. So again, here is my hot tank setup. It's a sealed off trash can, water tested. I got a crawfish or outdoor cooker stand. It's propane, of course. Engine blocks going in. And then I'm going to move some of the other stuff that I have over here. And I need to adjust my camera to, I'm going to move it over there to the table as well. So I'm going to start piling up these parts just as soon as I get all of the plastic pieces off of it. But yeah, some of this stuff over here is going to get included. And then there's the cylinder head down there that'll be hot tanked. As I already pointed out, the oil pump reservoir, the oil pan. This is the front main seal. I'm going to clean this, but that comes off first. I believe this is the front main seal. This may be the rear main seal. No, that's the front main seal. Okay, the rear main seal is all one new piece now, so we're good there. All right, so let's get busy. All right, so I've got the engine strapped onto the cherry picker, and we're taking it right over there. So we're gonna get some video of this and then dropping it in there to get it all sized up. Because I put a couple of bricks there in the bottom so that the engine block does not sit flat up against the metal there, because it gets really, really hot there. So I'm gonna move this guy in now, and we'll get some shots. Yeah, I think I can clear that. What do you think?
Let's see. Charlie.
All right, now that the engine block is in there and you can see that it is a perfect fit. Been there, take a picture of that already. Looks good. Can't wait to sink my teeth into that. Okay, so the concoction is at a boiling point now. We're at about 230, and I'm trying to get away from the steam because it's pretty gross. And yeah, the weather's holding up. It's about 64 degrees Fahrenheit here in Texas, and so it's not too bad. It's not stinking up the garage. I have the fan going, blowing outwards to create a positive pressure. And yeah, so I'm gonna let this cook, man, for a while, and then I'm gonna come back to it and then let it cool off and start pulling the parts out and take a look and see if they need to go longer. Yogi Mama's my auto mechanic today. She's making me a parts washer out of a fryer, a campfire fryer. Say that 3 times fast.
No, thank you.
And taking the handle off, and we're making some makeshift handles so I can dunk that parts washer right into our pot of goodness over there. We're used to.
Well, now I'm going to take more hangers. I'm going to put nice long hooks on each of these corners so you can hang them on the side of the
Very
trash
cool.
can.
Yeah, so it'll go into the water, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right, so it's been about 2 hours at boil, maybe a little bit less, pretty close. But as far as getting up to temp, we started at about 11 o'clock, and it is now 2 o'clock. So it's been a while. Taking a look, a lot of the water is evaporated because this was covered before. Now it's not, but wow, it certainly looks different. That aluminum looks really, well, my lens is all fogged up. Let's wait for the lens to defog. There. All right. The aluminum looks really dull there. So I'll have to look at that and see what I can do about repairing that. Yeah, that's why I got the aluminum brightener stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh, look at that. This was yellow, by the way. Not yellow anymore. There. Looks pretty clean. I think it did a great job. What do you think?
I think so too. Looks great.
All right, we're down to about 100 and I would say 60, 157 degrees in here. So in about an hour and a half, it only had dropped about 50 degrees. But it's still evaporating because this is starting to show. So I need to start pulling out some of this stuff in here, and you can see just how well it cleaned up this mess. Yeah, so after I get all the parts out, then I'll skim off the oil and see what's left of the cleaner before I put more parts in here.
So you can see, and you can even see the QR code printed on the cam here. It's pretty impressive what it's done. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing out on the concrete to get ready for pressure washing. This is the front main seal, and I gotta get that ring off of there. But
yeah, so the grime is still on there, but it's just peeling off. So I think a good pressure wash is going to do a great job on getting the rest of this grime off. Figure out a way of getting all these parts out. They're all kind of mixed in. Here's the cylinder head. This one. Wow, look at that. Still pretty grimy, but again, I feel it's going to come right out. This is the girdle or the cradle or whatever you want to call it. This is the gasket. Feel the gasket's just coming right off. Not bad. You don't want to keep this on too long, right? Because then it'll start pitting the aluminum. So I just want to get a nice fuzzy coat on that. And then I'm going to hit it with my stainless steel brush. Yeah, it's coming off really easy now. And very light. All right, it's getting late. I'm getting tired, but we still have work to do. We got to get this engine block out of here and pressure washed and dried. This is cast iron. We cannot just leave it out and let it air dry. It'll be rusted over by the morning at the very least. And then there's 4 pistons in there that I gotta get out as well. So I got a few more things to do, but the first thing I want to tackle is pressure washing the engine block once I get it off of, or get it out of this thing. Think I burned it or what?
I don't think so. See that steam coming off of it.
Yep. Oh man, there's still chocolate syrup on it. Psych. Okay, so now that it's clear. All right, I'm going to narrate over this part of the video because just imagining the sound coming out of that blower is making my ears bleed. So what we're doing here is we're using an electric blower that I got years ago for cleaning dust off of PC parts. But I found that it works better than my little pancake compressor to get air inside of all these little jackets and channels on this engine block. Again, as I mentioned earlier, it's important that you dry this thing completely or you'll wake up in the morning with a bunch of flash rusting all over the exposed metal. Check out the condition of these pistons. The connecting rods. Oh, that's really pretty. Day 2. It's a beautiful Sunday in January. It's going to be like a high of 70. Behind me, you can hear my DIY hot tank. Hard at work. I'm hoping that I still have some detergents left in the water for one more batch because I didn't put that much in there. So I'm not expecting a miracle, but I do expect it to get most of the oil off of it, and then I'll do the rest manually. But anyway, more work to go, never quite done. It may look delicious, but I wouldn't suggest eating what's going on here in my fryer basket. These are valves and bolts, things for the intake. So I'm gonna rinse all this off. Let's take a look. Wow, look at it. Yeah, it's coming off, that carbon's coming right off.
right, as I suspected, unfortunately, it looks like the potency of what was left in the hot tank wasn't quite strong enough to do a terrific job on the oil pan here. It's unfortunate because this was probably the dirtiest thing that needed to be handled, but it is what it is. I'm going to hit it with some simple green degreaser, assuming it's safe on aluminum, and the Alumabrite as well to help eat some of this up. So we'll see what I can do about this. So after about another 40 minutes or so of cleaning it with the aluminum brightener, yeah, I mean, I've pretty much gotten it back to OEM. I think it's a little on the dull side, you know, but hey, who cares? This thing's gonna have oil in it. The surfaces look good. I still have some little bit more cleaning to do. All in all, a little bit of elbow grease, I got most of it cleaned. I'd say this thing is 98% cleaned. All right, well, I'm done. That was pretty straightforward. A lot of greasy stuff, a lot of things all over my face, but the results are worth it. Take a look at some of the things that I managed to clean with the hot tank technique. So let's get this oil housing out of the way. This is the oil pan, folks, and this is what it looks like now. Just like new. I used that aluminum shine that I mentioned, as well as some more degreaser, and I was able to get everything like new. Check out the valves. I think I'm gonna make an intro out of that. Check out the pistons. The bearing caps are all ready. The bearings and the bearing caps are all ready. Check out the crankshaft. Like new, man. So, yeah, making some progress. Here are the valve lifters and a few other little components in here, all soaking in some motor oil and some WD-40 to make sure they don't rust. Because, you know, with getting sick and all, I didn't really, you know, have time to put it all back together. And here's the engine block. Take a look at the results. I mean, granted, the engine block was not that dirty, but now it's not dirty at all. And I went ahead and resurfaced the top of this before I got sick. That's in a future video. I'm gonna hone the inside of the cylinders one more time. I see a couple of little, you know, scuff marks there that I'm not too pleased about. So I'll need to pressure wash this thing again when I'm done. But yeah, so hot tanking is done. Cleaning all the parts is done. Now we just got to put it all back together. So look for future videos where I start the reassembly process, and that's really, really where the fun begins. So thanks for watching Yogi's Garage. We'll see you next time. Oh, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.
Make an MC into a wide-eyed lunatic.